Good morning. Happy hump day. Welcome into the number one group of five college football show of all time. This is the Group of Five guys, and our mission is to be the voice for the Group of Five football programs, the voice that the mainstream sports media absolutely refuses to be. We need your help to do that. Hit the follow button on all the social media platforms at Group of Five guys. Go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Believe Network, wherever you get your best podcasts. Subscribe to the channel. Leave us a 5-star rating and a review. Most importantly, tell your family and friends all about us. On this episode, the final regular season CFP rankings came out. We'll talk about that. Several coaching openings we will talk about. We'll talk about some potential candidates for those jobs. And we've got a ton of voicemails. So that will be the majority of the show today. Hope you enjoy the show. This is the Group of Five guys, and we are coming to you live.
They got Old Dominion week 3, and ODU is by no means a layup. Group of Five guys told me that, so that has to be true.
We looked at each other, we was like, Mike, the best place to be is a Group of Five. So I'm sitting here with the Group of Five guys, right?
Troy has won, it's been a winner, and it's a special place, so it's why you want the job.
But it's a ton of fun to watch a guy go to the NFL from a Nevada or a Colorado State or a Middle Tennessee or an App State, and fans follow that kid.
It was across there. You want to have this thing packed out, have the student section packed out, giving those guys hell on the sideline. I mean, that's part of it. I mean,
win or lose, like we're winning the tailgate.
There's no better place to be developed in this country than Boise State.
Well, Jeff, final regular season CFP came out last night. And I mean, look, the Group of Five might benefit from it. So I'm not going to complain too much. It's just funny watching them jump through hoops to try and justify some of the moves that they make, the mental gymnastics, if you will, that they pull off. But anyway, we got a whole lot to talk about today. Before we do that, Jeff, Deca Gray Coffee. Not really one last time, but you know what I'm saying here. One last time in the regular season from the podcast room, we're going to talk about Deca Gray Coffee. Go to decagray.com. Get you your roast to order coffee. So here's what you do. You go on decagray.com. You pick your blend, one of multiple blends they've got. You pick whether you want whole bean, ground coffee, or K-Cups. You put that in your cart. Then you put in our promo code GOFG. You'll get 10% off and free shipping. Once you click purchase, that's when this coffee is roasted, not sitting on a shelf somewhere. So that's when it's roasted. That's when it's put in the bag, shipped directly to your doorstep in just a couple of days. Visit decagray.com. I told you before the committee, I said it's a pretty safe bet that they would do something stupid. For all your other bets, you need to make sure you check out Level Sports Discord because they're not always safe. So you go get on that Level Sports Discord for the experts, see what they're playing, NBA, NHL, UFC, NFL, college football, all the different plays are on there. The link is in our bio on all the social media platforms. Well, we got 3 ranked Group of 5 teams in the CFP. Tulane at 20, North Texas, James Madison, 24 and 25. No telling where Duke is. That's the real question mark. See, I think they should have to rank like the top 35. So you could see, because you don't know right now, is Duke 26?
Yeah, on the outside.
Or is Duke 36? And if they beat Virginia, what kind of, let's just say like if Duke comes out and just boat races Virginia and looks good, which they might. I don't know. They got Mensa, he can play. Kid can play. I don't know that the committee has watched Duke one time this year. Maybe. So if they do that, they might say, oh my God, this team is. So if they're sitting there at a 26, 27 mark, and let's say North Texas and Tulane, it's pouring rain and it looks sloppy or whatever, or let's say James Madison, doesn't beat Troy handily. I don't know, Jeff.
I wouldn't put it past them. I have no faith in this committee whatsoever. I could see him trying to jump somehow, some way, because the media heads will not allow. They hate the fact that they're in this situation, that the mighty ACC potentially might not have a representative. And you're already seeing all the hate across. I mean, from the top of the Paul Feinbaum's, I can't even say he's at the top, but you know what I mean, top of ESPN, to just the other podcasters in our space that are just complaining about 2 G5 teams, and we got to get rid of the G5 auto bid. Well, maybe if you actually read what it is, it's not the G5 auto bid. It's the top 5 ranked conference champions. And then you're already starting to see these people wanting to get rid of conference championship games. I don't understand it. Why are we doing these gymnastics to jump around the real problem here? It's just mind-blowing.
Everything that these conferences have done has been in response to them feeling like they didn't get enough in a previous year. It's like, so let's get rid of divisions because our second best team was in the SEC West and they didn't make it. And now we can put the top 2 teams, which, funny enough, Jeff, isn't it funny that all these years and all these teams in the SEC, and guess who is in the championship game again, running through the conference? Georgia and Alabama. I'm just shocked by that. I'm just shocked that all these elite teams and none of them can get past Georgia and Alabama. But anyway, it's everything they've done. They get rid of divisions. They bring in all these new teams. Everything that they do is to try and they expand the playoff, is to try and get more of their representatives in. And they are getting more in, but it's just not enough. And so now they're going to try to shift something else. They're going to get rid of championship games, and what'll probably happen in the next decade is they'll say, you know what? Let's go back to like regional 10-team conferences where we can play everybody so that we don't have 5 teams in the ACC that are 6-2 and none of them have played each other. I mean, and here's the thing too, Jeff, they're going to bitch if Virginia beats Duke and Virginia gets in. They're going to bitch about Virginia getting in. They're going to say, oh, the ACC sucks. Meanwhile, Virginia played in the same conference as the Miami. If it was Miami in this championship game, you wouldn't hear a word. You'd say, oh, perfect. Miami, yep, handle business, and they're in. Awesome. One of the best teams in the country. That's what you'd hear. But it's not Miami. Even though they played in the same conference as Duke and Virginia, they just couldn't win enough games. They couldn't win more games than either of those two in that conference. So now people are going to complain because it's not a brand name. Nobody on the national stage is bitching that Vanderbilt's going to get left out. 10-2 Vandy. But you could bet your ass 10-3 Alabama is going to get in, or 9-3 Texas they're bitching about not getting in. Why? Nobody's going to bitch if BYU loses to Texas Tech and misses out at 10-2, 11-2 with a loss to the same team twice, who's a top 5 team in the country, according to the committee. Nobody's going to complain about BYU. They'll complain if Notre Dame misses out. They'll complain if Alabama misses out. They'll complain if Miami misses out. So again, like, you're playing in the same conferences as these guys. It's a little bit of SEC bias, but it's even more big brand bias, which is sort of the message that we've been trying to preach for as long as we've been doing this. And dude, did you listen to that guy justify them move? They moved Alabama up from 10 to 9 after just a dominant performance over 5-7 Auburn with an interim head coach, without a coach. They hadn't hired goalies yet.
Yeah.
5-7 Auburn. They move up a spot and they say, well, you know, it was a rivalry game and they ran the ball really well in the first half. That's what they said. Just played a good half against a 5-7 team and they move up a spot. And like, at this point, if I'm Notre Dame, I'm like, what? Why are they jumping us?
What?
If I'm Miami, I'm like, why are we? If I'm Notre Dame and Miami, I'm pointing out the fact that Alabama has a loss to the worst team in the ACC that everybody's going to be upset about getting a spot in this playoff or potentially not. The worst team in that conference beat Alabama by 2 touchdowns. And nobody's saying a word about that.
Well,
I mean, if I'm Notre Dame and I'm BYU and I'm Miami, I'm 100%. I mean, I know it's all a campaign anyway. dude. That's why immediately after these games, these coaches go on every media platform. That okay, give us your reason. And I don't know. I mean, I don't think the committee doesn't listen to that stuff.
100% they do. Well, you mentioned it, and you saw Marcus Freeman. I think it was yesterday or the day before that was campaign. I mean, it's almost it literally is campaigning for why their team should be in. And I'm just like, why are we making this so complicated? I just can't.
I know.
It just baffles me
I know.
how grown adults, somebody can't step up and lead this college football playoff, the NCAA, and just put these things in place, not only with the transfer portal, with the academic calendar lining up with the season, all the way to the college football playoff, and having divisions. You win your division, you go to the playoff, and then you got about 6 or 7, however you want to shake it out, at large spots. It's really not difficult. It's really not.
And everybody would be happy because you'd get we'd be happy, get all of our champions and seed them however you want. I realize that. We would go on the road. I don't care. We don't,
Makes
now
no
if you have a
difference.
team like a Boise from last year that 100% in top 10, like give them a home game. You go, again, go to Boise in December. Good luck. Go to West Point. Go to Annapolis. But anyway, you'd get all the champions. So all 10 or 9 or whatever it is, we'll be happy about that. And then you'd still get your 3, 4, 5. But you know what? You know what they would do though, Jeff, is then you would have a 4-loss or a 5-loss SEC team, and they'd be upset. Oh, how can 7-5 Missouri not get in over Toledo or whatever it is? That's what they would be saying. But it's the rules. You know how it's going to play out. You go handle business. Nobody talks about strength of schedule unless they've lost a game that they shouldn't have lost. Alabama wouldn't even be debatable had they beat Florida State. Texas, you're talking about strength of schedule. Texas is not getting punished for losing to Ohio State. They're getting punished for losing to Florida, who, by the way, lost to a group of 5 team who, by the way, is not even playing for a conference championship game. So like you don't lose those games. Lose to Ohio State. You wouldn't. That's why you didn't drop it at all in any of the AP or coaches poll when you lost to Ohio State. You drop when you lost to Florida. So I mean, these guys, dude.
What I think everybody kind of forgets and misses, especially the people driving college football, is what has made college football so incredible and so great is the national little pockets of the country that you kind of get a glimpse into when you see Boone, North Carolina, or you see Boise, Idaho, or you see North Texas. Like you get to see these little, and I say little, but these little pockets of the country that have tradition and have fandom and have unique experiences of their own. And like, there's so many schools, like you could continue to do that and showcase all these schools by having the conference champions either host or even if they have to go on the road. But we get, and the NFL does this too, where the NFL as a whole, like all the money that comes in for the league gets dispersed equally to each team. And then each team can make their own money off of their personal brand and the things they sell and all these other types of things. And I don't know why we don't do that. And they're like, oh, we got 140 teams. We can't do that. That's bogus. That's a cop-out. It's the big schools that really want to hoard all the money. It's like they're the ones that are driving this. It's been clear as day when you could do a media deal across the entire landscape of college football. And I don't care. The group of 5 gets a little bit less and you still get to keep some of it. But like, somebody's got to band together. And I wish the group of 5 would do this. I ultimately wish the entirety of college football would do this, but they won't. But it's like, I get sick of seeing how many times has Oregon been on game day in the last 5-10 years? Like 10, 15 times?
At least once a year.
Yeah.
At least.
So it's like you're seeing the same thing over and over and over. And that's why people loved game day initially so much, is because you would go and see some of these other schools and see the tradition on a national stage. But it sucks that we're to this point where the money's just getting hoarded, and the money at the cost of the product, the tradition, what college football really, like, the genesis of it was. And it can be done. You see the NFL, you can do a similar model and still keep, I think, the purity of college football. But it doesn't seem that anybody, especially Greg Sankey, wants that.
No. Jeff, it's funny you mentioned like getting to see these pockets and these communities, and you get to see their traditions and the experience of those towns on national television. It's almost as if the football team and the athletic program is the front porch of an entire community. It's almost like that. I mean,
Wild
I
stuff.
think you might have almost said that there, Jeff. I got a couple other things. I got one more thing on this, two more things a little bit. So, these talking heads that get on here and say certain teams deserve or don't deserve. Do you hear? I don't know who it was. There's a guy on McAfee that said he didn't. He said, "Has Tulane played any games on TV?" He said that. Yeah,
Wow.
all of them. Almost every game was on probably a Thursday or Friday. So that tells me. What that tells me is, but you got a strong opinion on who's good and who's not good. If you watched Tulane 5-6 times and you think, you know what, they're not very good, I thought, then I'm fine with it. If you truly unbiasedly think that, whether it's North Texas, Tulane, or James Madison, but you haven't watched them. You don't even know that they're on TV. And most of their games were on a Thursday or Friday night when they were the only game on. So don't tell me you're a sports fan or a football fan or a college football fan or have some opinion. If you don't even know if a team's played on TV and they played on TV 10 or 11 times on the worldwide leader, by the way, all their games. The other thing was, so I don't know if you saw this. I know you watched the press, but Summerall going to Florida, right? So there was some outrage out of Gainesville from talking heads, the podcasters, social media. Not a whole lot of outrage from the national media. Like, I'll give them that. They were all saying this is a good hire, whatever. And they all, Billy Napier 2.0. This is blah, 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 blah. The guy does a 10-minute speech and they've totally flipped. And if you look on Twitter, this guy's got some fire to him. Oh, this guy's totally different from Billy Napier. And it's like, these are the people that have strong opinions. They have no idea what they're talking about. They don't know. They've never seen Tulane play on TV. They've never heard John Summerall speak. They've never seen him coach. They don't know anything at all. They just hear, G5. Group of 5. Small school. That's all they know. And they form these crazy opinions. And they have not a freaking clue. And the guy steps out of a plane and does the gator chomp, and now they love him. I mean, my God. Hey, John, we love you. Good luck. But these are the people you're dealing with now, buddy. This is how fickle they are. Do a gator chomp, they love you. Give a speech, they love you.
It's something else, man. And I just, it's why we've loved him since we met the guy at Troy, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever it was. And he just gets up there, man, and tells it like it is. And these reporters, ask him these dumb questions. Not all of them, but a couple of them. And one was basically hinting at the fact that you were a G5 coach. Billy Napier, we just got done with him. He was a G5 coach, and his response was so good. And it was just like, if I run across, no two people are the same. And if I run across a reporter that's a terrible reporter or that says something that's incorrect, like, I'm not going to judge you because the last reporter that, I came across was a dick. Like, judge me for who I am and what I've done. And oh boy, it was such a great mic drop moment for him. He had a couple of them in that press conference. And I mean, like you said, I wish him nothing but the best. Couldn't be happier for him and his family. Hate it that he's leaving the G5. But you know what, Sprouse? I take a little bit of just joy that we came, not that we found him or anything like that, but we just
I think we did, Jeff.
Built the relationship with Summerall and his family at Troy, and then all the people we've met. Like, that's what makes what we do so special is the relationships that we've created and with the fan, like our people on here, the people in the chat, the coaches, the players that we come across. Like, to me, it's just an awesome experience.
Well, Jeff, and the other thing is the guy that Florida is so desperately trying to find again, Urban Meyer, was the G5 coach before he got to Florida. So, I mean,
That's what he said too. He's like, yeah, I think he's like, Urban, you were in the G5, weren't you?
yeah, I mean, these people they don't have a clue, dude. They don't know anything at all. They're just so whatever. You got to have fans like that though. That's why they have great. That's why they have great environment
No
at the
doubt.
swamp there. So anyway, so speaking of Summerall and Tulane, we will officially be in New Orleans. We'll be getting there Thursday afternoon. We'll be doing a show. Um, should be getting some special guests on that show Thursday. It'll probably drop Friday morning though, Jeff. Is
Yeah.
that am I on?
Yeah, we'll go Friday
So
morning, kind of probably mid morning. I don't think we'll.
yeah, probably nine or
Yeah.
10, I would say, right?
Yeah.
So we'll drop that Friday morning. So we won't be at the 6 a.m. Eastern on Friday. So just be on the lookout. Put your notifications on. It'll be a really good show. We'll get some guests on there from the American, possibly from Tulane or North Texas. We'll see how that shakes out. Several openings. North Texas, of course, officially hired Neil Brown yesterday. Neil Brown, the Troy folks love some Neil Brown. Obviously, Joe is in the chat. Chad's in the chat. They're big Neil Brown guys. Zachary Branner, who calls the show quite often, played for Neil Brown, loves Neil Brown. I mean, look, we don't know the guy, but he had 4 straight 10-win seasons at Troy, 72-51 overall record. Most of those losses coming at that dumpster fire of a program in West Virginia. 5-1 in bowl games. So, they moved quick, which that tells me that's their guy. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like they ain't moving like Penn State's moving, by the way.
No, they're not.
Penn State, boy, they are finding out real quick they might have made a mistake, huh?
There's no question they made a mistake. I mean, there's probably 5 to 10, I would say, like elite coaches in the country, and elite really is probably at that 5 number. James Franklin, in my opinion, was one of them.
I agree.
And you let him go, and now he's at Virginia Tech, and you are struggling.
And you can't find anybody, and you're going to settle, and your fans are going to be unhappy about it.
Yep.
And so the minute it starts looking south, they're gonna want this next guy gone, and then you're gonna be paying that buyout. So
they're gonna overpay. They're gonna settle and overpay.
They are, and they're probably got Jimmy Sexton right now, or Clint. Who's it? Clint Dowdell is the other guy. They got him on the phone. No, my defensive coordinator at so and so school needs 10 million. I mean, that's what's happening. I mean, they tried to get Sataki from BYU, and he turned it down. It seems.
Well, what's also happening too, and I don't know how many coaches are actually doing this, but I've read reports that coaches at the G5 level or in the Power 4 too that are using this process to get more money out of the school they're at. And that's part of the game, I guess. That's negotiations and all those things, but it's a wild situation right now, boys and girls.
Yeah, it is. But so here's what you got open now. You got UAB still open. You got Coastal open. You got Tulane open, Memphis open, and South Florida open. In no order. If I'm so you're hearing at Tulane, you're hearing Blake Baker, who's the defensive coordinator at LSU. I've heard Shannon Dawson, who's the offensive coordinator at Miami. Probably 2 pretty good hires. If I'm Memphis, South Florida, and Tulane, because they're the 2 that are going to get compared the most. They're the top 3 programs in the American. They got the resources, whatever. If I'm South Florida, I mean, I'm calling down the road to FIU. We've talked about this. The easy hire is to go hire the guy that is at a place that has all the resources in the world, and they win 10 games, and they're probably going to win 10 games again, regardless of who that coach is. The good hire, in my opinion, is the guy that's winning 6 or 7 games at a place that has never really won, doesn't have resources, and still finds a way to do it despite. So if I'm South Florida, I'm looking down the street to Willie Simmons at FIU.
No,
obviously we've got a personal relationship with the guy, but it makes sense. He was successful. He's been successful now at 2 programs in the state, FAMU up in Tallahassee. So you picture the state of Florida, right? So in Tallahassee at FAMU. So he's got the relationship with everybody up that way. Now he's at FIU down in Miami. So now he's got the relationship with Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County. But you put that guy in Tampa with some resources. I mean, you remember FAMU, wasn't it Ed Reed that went to FAMU for like a month, and it was just and like he got let go because he was bitching about the campus, just kind of complaining about how bad it was there.
I think it was
Is that
Bethune-Cookman.
it was Bethune? You're probably right. All right, well,
Same,
disregard everything.
but I mean, same similar concept of what you're
Disregard
talking about.
everything I just said. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But Willie Simmons goes to FAMU and just starts
Yeah.
winning. And then goes down to FIU and gets that program going. So I'd make that call. If I'm Memphis, sorry, Kennesaw, I'm calling Jerry Mack right now. I mean, if I'm all these places, I'm calling all these guys. Calling Jerry Mack. If I'm calling Buster Faulkner at Georgia Tech. I'm not sure why that name hadn't come up a little bit more. I'm not saying Blake Baker and Shannon Dawson wouldn't be good hires. And then if I'm Coastal, I'd make a run at all of those guys. Maybe Billy Napier back in the Sun Belt.
I could see that.
If I'm UA, and then what's the I'm drawing a blank. What's Navy's OC's name? His name's been brought up a lot. I think he turned down UAB though. Cronin, something. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, but UAB now is sitting there.
Yeah, Drew Chronic.
Yeah, where they're like, we were the first ones to we were the first job open. And this is why, see, this is the reasoning why athletic directors make this move early in the season, because they want to start the process and that's why Penn State made the move when they made it. But then it's like, if you're UAB, now you got the 3 top jobs in your conference open. And you're sitting there, you got Coastal open. That's probably a better job. Maybe not.
Well, you also got the excuse me, the admin stuff that's been going on at UAB, and this is all information that we've just gathered over the years. And it's a similar situation as what we got going on at Middle. It's just when you're a coach looking for a job, it's not about just taking the job. It's about the entire package. And that's why you see coaches take one job over another. It's like, do I have support of the admin? What's their vision? Do they support my vision? Do I have the resources? What's the president like? Because you got to have everything in a line to really push the program forward. And, unfortunately, I just don't know if UAB has that. It doesn't seem like it from the reports that we've gathered. And then you look at a place like South Florida, seems like they do have that. It seems like they care about football. They understand its value. And then, when you're looking for a head coach, it's not just a head coach. Look at the staff that they have underneath them. If you're thinking about hiring a G5 coach, do they have continuity on their staff? Is that staff probably going to go with them? And I feel like Willie Simmons has that. He's had that for the last several years, and I think that plays a big role. It's something that's not talked about. What is the continuity of the coaching staff? What does that look like? Because you can't just hire the head coach or hiring everybody else that comes along with it. And we've seen coaches in the group of 5 specifically that get a job and then they just start plucking coaches from other programs or past relationships that they've had, and that coaching staff doesn't mesh and they don't trust each other. That's a big factor too. So when you're talking about hiring a coach, I think you have to look into that. And to me, it seems like Willie Simmons has that. He's got success in the state of Florida. He's got a staff that has won and has been with him. So that just all supplements too. I think it'd be a great fit for South Florida. But yeah, UAB's, I think, going to struggle.
Yeah, I think they are too.
I mean, I'm just being honest.
And we haven't done enough digging to see, what FCS coaches are out there. I mean, that's something you could go to too, is you look at one of the Dakota schools or the Montana schools, see who's, looking to, I don't know. I mean, I know he extended, but Eck at New Mexico, you got to make the call. I'm not advocating for these people to leave their current situations at all. I'm just saying you got to make the call and check. Eventually they're going to go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make the call and check. And the other thing, you mentioned the continuity. That's why you can see a coach go from the FCS to the FBS, bring in a couple transfers, bring in their staff, and they succeed right away. That's why you could see a coach go from James Madison to Indiana, bring a couple players, bring a staff, and just they don't skip a beat. They just keep rolling. And, I think that's what you see. You bring most of your staff, you bring a core of players that understand your culture, no matter who it is, no matter where they go, and you got a chance at success. So, I will. It'd be interesting to see. It'd be interesting to see. It seems like Tulane and Blake Baker. That's like kind of the Tulane folks seem like they want it. It seems like it's the obvious choice. I tell you, you heard some rumors about Coach O, and
I don't like that
I don't
particular
know, man.
hire.
I mean, it'd be cool, right? It'd be. Yeah, you hire somebody famous. That's what that is.
Yeah, it feels like it almost feels like a
A
PR
PR.
hire.
Yeah, well, yeah. Which you know, yeah, I'm looking in the chat. UAB Stadium is fantastic. UAB has phenomenal facilities.
Great.
Phenomenal facilities, but very limited support. They're in Birmingham, so like you like everybody in the group of 5. Like, let's not pretend we're dealing with this, but everybody's a Bama fan there. And some might say that the admin is Bama fans, So that's the part, and they get no support. You get no support from that community, man. I mean, you see the UAB South Florida game the other day. There was like 3 people in the stadium, and it's an awesome stadium, and it's an awesome little town right there. But they got to figure out how to make it work. We got a bunch of voicemails, Jeff. I'm gonna take these last 30 minutes and play these voicemails, and we'll get out of here.
We'll get caught up on voicemails, and so Friday's show will obviously be live from Yeoman again, and we'll go through all the championship games, preview those. Like Sprouse mentioned, we got a special guest coming on, so tune in Friday, set your notifications. But just before we get into the voicemail, Sprouse, we got not ideal weather this Friday. Just looking at it,
I know.
Troy at James Madison, kickoff temp 28 degrees, brutal. I would say Kennesaw Jack State has probably got the best weather. We're looking at it, and especially, and this all factors into your betting, folks. You got to make sure you know what the weather is at kickoff. 47 degrees, partly cloudy, so that's not terrible. Tulane, North Texas, 53 degrees, but they're calling for rain. And then Boise, same thing, calling for rain, 47 degrees at kickoff. And then what's the MAC? Doesn't matter. We're in a dome.
Indoors,
We're in a dome. We're in a dome. Doesn't matter. So yeah, just keep an eye out for the weather, betting folks, because there's definitely some money to be made on championship weekend. I'll tell you what, that Kennesaw Jack State, I can't wait to, we'll obviously be at Yeoman, but check out what the crowd looks like. Because when we were there, had a sold out crowd, you got that rivalry there. Are they going to show up again for championship week?
Yeah.
I would hope so.
I think so. It's Friday night. What are all the games at 7:00, between 7 and 8? Pretty much.
Pretty much. Yeah. The Sun Belt's at 6. This is all Central Time kickoff. 6 p.m. 6 p.m. for Conference USA. American is 7. Mountain West is 7.
I wish the Mountain West was a little later.
Yeah.
You mean that 10:30 Eastern game, so we can leave Yeoman, head back to the casino.
There'd be no doubt about it.
Watch that thing at the sports bar there at Caesars.
Tight spreads all the way across it. Minus, outside of the James Madison spread.
It's 3 touchdowns, isn't it?
23.5. It's a lot.
Well, they shouldn't even play it then. Vegas.
Just give it to the
just hand it to them on paper. Yeah. Well, let's get to the voicemail, 615-900-4286. Looking forward to a bunch of calls after the weekend as we get ready for our Monday show next week. But 615-900-4286. Jeff, let's see what we got.
We're going to start with the voicemails left over from the weekend, and then we'll get into the ones that were left yesterday.
What is up, group of 5 guys? It is your favorite friendly JMU fan, Grant Horan here. First and foremost, I'm sorry, Steeple. We had to do it. The annual tradition of JMU just dog walking Coastal Carolina has yet again come to fruition. Appreciate all of your candid conversation throughout the season and can't wait to see you again next year. We'll do it again. Now, on to my more so of a rant, because, again, JMU played great. That's off the table. I'm sitting here, and I'll admit, I am watching the Iron Bowl, right? And I just heard the commentator make the most asinine comment, because as of right now, SMU is up on Cal is up on SMU, which therefore means Duke is playing UVA in the ACC championship game. And they have the audacity to say, oh, if this results hold, Duke has a chance for the CFP. What are you talking about? What are we talking about? I am sorry. If Duke gets into the ACC championship game and wins, if the committee somehow ranks a 8-5 Duke team ahead of both a Tulane or UNT team and JMU, I'll blow a gasket, boys. I don't know. At that point, I really don't know what we do as like group of five, because, you know, we're fighting the good fight. We're doing the good things. But at what position is it like, hey, guys, these teams can play football and deserve their shot with the big boys because your quote-unquote big boys aren't doing what they're supposed to do? Anyway, that's my rant for the evening. Go Dukes as always, and let's see what the committee does here on Tuesday. Peace.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't know how they justify it, because Duke would have lost to Tulane. Don't they have another? They have another
UConn.
So how do you justify that?
They went 0-2 against a group of five,
and you're going to put them over a group of five champion. I wouldn't be shocked, but it'd be a very bold
well,
move.
you saw the committee's answer by putting James Madison where they put him. Now the question for me is, if James Madison loses, he's at Duke. Is it 11-2 UNLV? Is it what, 9-4 Boise? Boise at least has some brand power. Dan Mullen's got some brand power.
He does.
I don't know.
Be interesting. Let's just, I love me some Troy Trojans, but Dukes, I just need to take for college football playoff purposes. Dukes need to take care of business. Got the American champ. Duke needs to win. That's what we need. Everything else needs to just fall. Somebody else was saying that you would need some other help for that to happen. You would need, I think it was Bama to, let's see. Somebody was saying like you would need Bama to win or Bama to, I can't remember. But it's like, no, if Duke wins,
they'll be conference champions.
Yeah. I don't know. You're hearing all this stuff on ESPN and CBS, and I'm like, you guys not know how the process works?
The Bama thing's got nothing to do with this, because
sorry, Joe.
If Bama wins, them and Georgia will be in. They'll probably be in even if they lose. That's not going to affect. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not going to affect a fifth conference champion.
That's what I was under the impression. But this person, I can't remember who it was. Might have been on Buzzing with the Boys. Was saying that
probably
to get two group of five programs that they would need other help. I'm like, no, they wouldn't.
No, that spot. Jeez, let me try to break it down here. That spot is going to be Duke, Virginia, or a group of five team. No matter what. That's what it's going to be. Duke, Virginia, James Madison, or Troy, or UNLV, or Boise. That's what it's going to be. The other spot is going to be North Texas or Tulane. There's, I don't know, whatever.
Let's keep it rolling.
I don't know how many times there's a reason they have to put the rules on the screen before they do the show. Because everybody gets up in arms.
People are getting paid to do this on national television.
And that's why they do that. I think that's the whole reason you have a committee, so they can do that show on Tuesday evenings. But you could do a show if it was all conference champions and at large. You could do a show and you could say, hey, look, here's where the tiebreakers are for these conferences. And, one thing that would be really crazy if they did is they would say, oh, but, these two teams have the same record and this one beat the other one they played and this one beat them. So that's why they are projected to be in the championship game. That would be just a wild concept.
It's crazy. I need to pull the audio for, I don't know if you remember Mike Leach's rant about the committee.
A little bit.
I need to just clip that and have it on my soundboard. Just be like, we in America, we love a good committee. Bunch of guys that have, never coached, never played, sitting in a boardroom, deciding who's in and who's out. It's awesome. But all right, let's keep it rolling. We got a lot to get to.
Bob, guys. Iverson Reed, Coastal Carolina alumnus. Just stepped out of church. We then we gotta play for homecoming Thursday, so I'm gonna have to be quick. But yeah, I just really found out the news mid sermon, but oh my goodness, Chance Miller, our athletic director, our AD, he pulled the trigger. Not even 20 hours later, he has pulled the trigger. Tim Beck is out as head coach. The rebuild starts now because aside from his first year in 23, which now we know was just an anomaly and was just the leftover of Chatwell's guys, that was a bad hire. Let's not do that again. Got him out. That's step one. Step two is just finding the right guy, and that's going to be paramount because the momentum we had from 2020 to 2022 is gone. It's all but gone. But this is a huge, huge step in the right direction. And like I mentioned last night with the previous call, in those 5 of those 6 losses, we were outscored 234 to 31 points. That's just 241 to 31 points, excuse me. And like I said before, it's inexcusable. And really, really glad to see that Chance Miller sees that the same way as all the Team Nation. So big, big, big move. And now we just start rebuilding from there. Love to hear you guys' input on this. Thank you guys for covering what you all do with the G5 and everything. God bless. God bless Group of 5 guys. Shout out.
My question here, Iverson, were you on your phone in the middle of church, pal? Or are you like, I don't know how it is up there, but where I'm at, I mean, they spent half the sermon talking about Auburn and Alabama. I mean, these guys are, but and I'm full transparency. I told you on Monday, I got to keep my phone out in case the child care has to call me,
No
So
doubt.
I got my phone on my lap and it is just bzzz. And I'm doing the little like look down and I'll how on the text, like you only get like the first couple words and I would see like Summerall ... And I'm like, and I'm fighting it, dude. I'm fighting it. And it's
Good Lord's testing you.
goalless. And I was like, oh boy. And I'm trying to put 2 and 2 together, like, because it was like, Jay Rose would say Summerall, and I'm like, oh, Summerall's going to Florida. It's a Florida fan. And then my buddy Morris would be, looks like go. And I'm like, is Goalish going to Auburn? What? And then, so I'm with you, Iverson. But now who do you hire? That's the question. Billy Napier, Rick Stockstill, and back to the Carolina ties.
I'm telling you, the old ball coach can still do it.
Yes, he could. What else we got?
Group of 5 guys, Joe Judkins. About them Trojans, huh? Nightmare makers and dream takers, baby. We were American Standards kings of the shit show the past 3 or 4 weeks. We finally got our Cottonelle photos the right way and cleaned up a bunch of crap this last week. Finally looked like a solid and complete football team in all 3 phases. They puffed and they huffed and we blew their damn house down in Hattiesburg. We own you, Southern Miss. It's been 2,302 days as of this call since Southern Miss has beaten Troy. Just add another 350 days or so till you get a chance. Hey, JMU, we coming. Make no mistake, we will get off the bus next Friday and we'll be ready to play. Nobody thinks we can win, and that's okay. We coming and we playing. Huge underdogs in Harrisonburg. JMU's the prettiest girl at the dance and all that shit. But when Cinderella laces up her boots and pulls up her britches, that bitch is bad, and that bad bitch is coming to Virginia. All you can never ask for is a chance, and we got a chance. Who has played more Sun Belt Conference championships than any other Sun Belt team? Troy, that's who. Congrats, Terry Johnson, Louisiana. You're going bowling. And my friend, that's a huge endorsement of Coach Des and what he's done this year. Creme Brulee going bowling as a Sun Belt rep. Then take your ass out west. Arch State, Georgia Southern Coastal, ODU, JMU, and Southern Miss. All we can ask for is that you go represent the Sun Belt team. 9 teams going bowling, 2 more than any other conference in the G5. Sun Belt is down this year. Bullshit. We're just a lot more competitive conference-wide. Now to you mouth-farting, blow-bagging pinheads at the exhaustingly shit-spewing prognosticators network, kiss my ass. No, I never played at the level you guys did, but I played in high school and some service ball while in the military. But been in competitive sports my entire life. There was a time in my life I'd watch the pictures man in gut and field dress my grandmother doing a softball game. Married Miss Jane at home, played on the 4th of July after a tournament. Those that played know what goes on in the locker room, the language, the outbursts, the finger pointing, the bullshit, bloviating mouths like Childers, Barry, Dari, Reese, and Paul, mouths like Feinbaum, who wouldn't know whether to lace up his jock or tie up his helmet, or in the knowing college football, how it should be. I'm a man, and I'd break that beaten-nosed, four-eyed, pencil-dick shitbag in half. Never played, but wants us all to believe his insights makes him the man with all the answers. It's like a baby that loses its binky. Now that Saban Jizz binky is gone, they all sucking on Sark and Kirby for a little taste of their binky, hoping it's as good as Nick's was at Alabama. Watch the games. Head-to-head matters. Conference championships matter. Bowl game championships matter. Athletes competing matter. If you don't like the matchup, don't like the team, watch the fucking Housewives of Opalaka. Then the rest of us will form our opinions based on the play on the field and not the binky jizz you spit out of your mouth. Your narrative's being destroyed, and your subject matter expertise is going down as you shit it down your legs. Got to get to 16. Got to get to all champions qualified. Got to get to group of five. Group of five guys, a major sponsor. The boys can come out off the top rope every single time and put a chokehold on these shitbags. Sure to miss your Saturday show. Ranting over. Lastly, I hope everyone had a fabulous Thanksgiving with family and friends. I know that Miss Jane and I did. Got a lot to be thankful for. Thankful to the group of five, and most thankful to the group of five guys. Thankful to Lauren and Scarlett. If you know, you know. Go Trojans and go Blue Devils.
Oh, Joe's world class, dude.
I mean, you want to talk about an elite level voicemail right there. I mean, and I don't think he write. Joe, correct me if I don't think he writes this. Does he write it down?
I have no idea. He was going.
I mean, there ain't a stutter, there ain't a pause, there ain't a Freudian slip, none of it.
We appreciate you, Joe.
I'm thankful for ain't no doubt about that. Thankful for Joe and the relationship we've built over the years too. So, Troy, they're gonna get off the bus, Jeff.
Look, when you get into the dance, anything can happen. Anything can happen.
You know, and we're giving Troy a chance, just like we would give the winner of this game a chance at Ole Miss or whoever it's going to be right there, right? You just want a shot, man.
That's it.
Maybe it's unlikely. Maybe you're 3 touchdown dogs. But you know what? It takes one right hook, Jeff. Put somebody on their ass.
Troy had Clemson on the ropes. And if you don't think that Clemson, at least from a physicality standpoint, is on the same level as JMU, like Troy can hang. Troy is notorious for being a giant killer. And this is going to be a big test for him, but I'm not putting it past Troy.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's keep it going.
Group of five guys, Josh Bevel here. It is 7:36 a.m. I'm heading back from Canton, Georgia. Heading back from the in-laws, little Thanksgiving trip. But the Eagles won. You know, my father-in-law was wanting to put all these other football games on the TV. You know, he wanted this, he wanted that. I said, I said, this is what we're going to do. I said, I understand that I'm in your house. You're going to watch what you want to watch. It's your TV. But the Eagles got to be somewhere. Laptop, TV, I don't care. Your house, your rules. Eagles got to be somewhere playing. But we won, fellas. I'm truly shocked. Like, I'm not, like, I love our team. I love our guys. Like, people say what they want about Coach Helton. I'm a Coach Helton guy. I love Clay Helton. Now, we can have a different conversation of where I believe each area needs to improve, but that's a different day. But we won. The defense, I mean, where's this defense been all freaking year? If you're talking about an area that needs to improve, where has this defense been all season? It's like the first half of the App State game, okay, I knew App was going to come back in the second half and almost beat us in, but okay, whatever. But where has this defense been all game? That's the most complete game that our offense and defense has played all season. And we waited to the last freaking game of the year when bowl eligibility's on the line, on the road, at Marshall, not an easy place to play football, and you get the job done. Where has this been? Anyway, we're going bowling. I don't know what, but we're going bowling. I'll probably make the trip. Let's be honest. Let's just hope we don't lose 4 straight bowl games. But that being said, God bless the group of 5 guys. God bless the group of 5. And always GATA, Hail Southern.
Appreciate you, Josh.
They fired their defensive coordinator.
That was
after the game, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe they're ranked last in the country.
Yeah. Going bowling, man, still means something.
It does.
Absolutely, still means something, and you know,
get to see what your young talent can do because a lot of the guys will probably jump in the portal.
Yeah, I know, and you can hope you can. If you're a young talent, if you like it, you got to make sure that you keep them. Yeah. So,
all right, let's keep it rolling.
Group of 5 guys, Joe Judkins. How about them Trojans, huh?
Wrong one.
Oh, I thought he got a round 2.
No round 2.
Hey, boys.
No.
Just right on Twitter. 5-7 App State. It's unreal, man. It's just unreal. I had such high hopes coming into the year. We had so much talent. We had such a great coaching staff that got all that talent. I was over the moon coming into the season, and 5-7. My biggest gripe, and I think that y'all will agree with this if you've watched any Appalachian this year, they haven't gotten any better. It's the same Appalachian team making the same stupid mistakes that we were making at the beginning of the year in week 12 or game number 12, week 14, whatever the hell it is. It's the same fucking team. Same mistakes. Right? We fumble a kickoff and let them score a touchdown right before the half. What are we doing? It's 4th and 3 and they're punting and we jump off sides. Just stand still and let them punt. They're giving you the ball back. Just stand still and let them punt. It's the same team that drove me insane at the beginning of the year in game 12. Granted, I'm not a coach. I'm a drunk fan who's pissed off and calling y'all to vent, but I have not seen any improvement. It's the same bullshit week in and week out for 12 weeks. I'm so glad I didn't go today. I went to a bar and decided to drink instead of going up there and watching us fight to get bowl eligible and not win. I'm so glad I didn't go because I would be absolutely miserable. I got to watch some good football today as opposed to going up there and watching that crap. I don't know, man. I hope I see a lot of improvement. I hope we get a lot of talent. I'm not sure why they'd come anymore, but I hope we get a lot of talent, and I hope Dowell can turn this ship around because I'm losing my mind. 3 out of the last 4 years we have been absolute dog shit, and I can't do it anymore. So, anyways, that's my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth.
We got to get, for nothing else other than to get Happy Stu back, we got to get App State back on the winning side of things.
We do. But that's the worry for App State. Places like App State and Georgia Southern, like it's a new era. And these kids, for guys like us, when that atmosphere and all those things mean more than anything else. And that was you were going to get a scholarship. And so what was the differentiator, right? That ain't it anymore. These kids want money. And if that's the first question they're asking, it's not going to be an App State guy.
Yeah, you got
to. So you got to find those kids and those families and those parents that are on board with that. And when we were up there with Coach Clark's staff and Coach Watts and them, it was always, if we can get them up here, they'll come. Like if we can get them on a visit, they get them up on the mountain and they'll come. But if you walk into your high school coach's office and the kid says, what kind of NIL you got? And that's his first question, then what do you do?
You got to move on. And there's still kids out there.
Yes, there are. 100%. There's blue collar type kids. Honestly, probably in play, like not necessarily in Boone, but in the, those Carolina areas, those mountain towns, Western Pennsylvania. That's what I talked about with Coach Limbo at Buffalo. Western Pennsylvania, Western New York. Like those are the kids you're going to have to find, man. Farmer, grew up on the farm.
No doubt.
That's what you need.
Well, the thing is too, is like, you got to get them you got to get them. Like, you got to recruit your freshmen, the high school scene really well, because those are the kids. When you get them there, you can build that relationship. A lot of times you can keep them and supplement with the portal. Whereas, like, when you got to get all portal guys, those guys are in the portal because they want more money. The vast majority of the time. So, anyways.
Yep.
All right, let's keep it rolling. Let's see here.
Group of 5 guys, Morgan here, resident Tulane fan. Wanted to delay my voicemail this weekend just to see what the outcome of John Shamrall's decision was going to be, and looks like he's heading to Florida, and certainly respect his decision, and I think it's a good move for him. Obviously a step up. I think he's going to do really well there. But getting back to the game against Charlotte, obviously not the prettiest performance on offense, but I really want to focus on the defense. I think we saw what the benefit was of having as healthy a defense as we've had since week 1. And you see guys like Chris Rogers really step up, take that next level. Jordan Norman and Mo Westmoreland on the defensive line play really, really well. Those 2 guys can be really critical for the championship game against North Texas on Friday. So I'm really excited to see the defense play with that level of tenacity and aggression, essentially from the opening kickoff all the way through the game. That was a really, really impressive performance. So hat tip to them. And then the offense, I think we just have to keep pushing. We can run the ball, we can pass it. We certainly can't make those mistakes we made against Charlotte. So hopefully we can clean that up in time for Friday. I'll be down there. I can't wait. It looks like it's going to be a packed house. 4th straight conference championship game, hosting again. One more win. Let's get it. Let's get to the playoffs. Roll Wave.
This American Championship game might be the most viewed one, I think. And you want to know why, Sprouse?
Because the coaches are going. Everybody's going to
want
to watch their coach.
You're going to have a bunch of Gator fans and a bunch of Cowboy fans that are going to be watching this game, seeing what can I expect from old Sumrall and Eric Morris, and then you obviously got the fans of the teams. But I think it's going to be a great game. And Tulane, that defensive front has got to make Messamaker uncomfortable. If they cannot get after him, they don't have to get to him. But like they did with Mensa, get him off his spot, make him uncomfortable, speed up the clock just a little bit, they'll have a chance. But if he can sit back there and get to his 2nd and 3rd progression, it is going to be a long night.
Mm-hmm.
Long night.
I hope the weather doesn't turn away the crowd. You got to figure the students will
stop
be
around 6 or 7. The kickoff's not till 8 Eastern. So when
Jeff 6, 7.
Jeez.
I'm so sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, well, and you got to think too that the students will be, hopefully they'll be just torn up by then and shirtless,
right?
Waving their shirts around and all that, so they won't care. But sorry, I can't believe I did that. I apologize to the show.
All right, let's get to the voicemails from yesterday. We got 4, and then we'll get out of here.
Group of 5 guys, Chuck from Prairieville. Hey, I'm tired of reading all the text and hear all the crying about, the American Conference think they this, the American Conference think they that. Well, guess what? We are. North Texas versus Tulane. Winner goes to the CFP. Here's another little tidbit. ACC championship. Virginia versus Duke. Virginia's quarterback was at North Texas last year. Duke's quarterback was at Tulane. We just lost 4 coaches to Power 4 schools. We are all that. JMU, I respect and admire y'all accomplishments. Y'all too have a heavy P4 relevance, but we are not the ones that rank you. But I do believe that it's Tuesday, the committee will think heavily on y'all. What y'all have to do is run down to Charlotte and cheer on Duke. Because according to all the analytics, if Duke wins, y'all are in. And if the committee doesn't, then they are lying to us about the metrics they put down to follow. Committed nothing but political puppets. Good luck, JMU. Thank you, Group of 5 guys. Thank you for representing.
Appreciate you, Chuck. Sprouse, let's just say that scenario happens and we get 2 in. You're going to have JMU in Oxford. That ain't a far drive.
I will be traveling for Christmas.
Oh, for Pete's Dragon.
But hold on now. I've upset some people before for this thing, all right? That ain't well, you might have. I mean, there's a chance.
Is what North Texas will play who? Who'd they have him lined
Well,
up
they'll
with?
be the 11 seed.
They'll play Tech.
So
right?
Theoretically, but if you get a situation where Texas Tech wins and maybe let's say Bama beats Georgia, and maybe Georgia knocks down to 5, maybe they're in Athens. Maybe BYU beats Texas Tech. You could have Oregon could be there. That'd be a tough one.
That would be.
I mean, there's a lot of scenarios. It depends how far, how bad does Indiana or Ohio State beat one another? How far do they drop? Would Indiana drop out of the top 4? It's a long way to go still. You know what I'm saying?
Morgan goes, Sprouse is going to walk the family up to the relative store, then run back to the car and drive to the CFP.
Yeah, dude. Well, yeah, it was already a thing. So when we were planning this thing out, and I was like, that's what I first said. What about these dates? Can you get off work? Off work? You ain't worried about that. When is the CFP date? So I was looking them up, and I gotta. I don't know, dude. Just trust me, it was already a thing. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll play player. It's got to
We'll
happen.
see if there's like an unprecedented
first.
invite, or I mean, you know what I mean? Like
it's gonna be like on the road. So either way, it'd
be tough. Like when we got to go to the Fiesta Bowl last year, like that was had to do it.
Yeah.
In the end zone there. I mean, you had to make that happen. This year,
it's gonna be tough.
I don't know, dude. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe I make a day trip out of it. Hey, look, you guys go to the mall. You guys go get your ladies, you guys go get your nails done. Gentlemen, you guys go down we're going to the beach, whatever. You guys go down there to the sand, hang out. I'll take my oldest kid and we'll go watch some ball, maybe.
All right. Got a couple more, and then we're out of here.
Hello. Another day. Del McGee's not fired, unfortunately. Hopefully, this will change soon. But instead of that, I just want to speak about this coaching carousel. It feels so bad for Tulane, North Texas. They're conference champions and the coaches are leaving, which is weird. Oh my gosh. Man, it's getting bad for us. Man, I'm telling you, especially in the group of 5, man, especially for JMU. Now their coach left. I think the only logical answer to this is putting UNLV just for the solidifies, us having a real team and a chance because they're the only one that the coach didn't leave. And on top of that, in a general trend, we need to stop transfers and coaches talk about after bringing God into the reason why they left their school. Shut up. I don't want to hear another time I hear, after all the prayer and God told you you're a bitch and you need to stay in one place. Stop saying that. Stop. I don't want to hear no more about you talking about how God told you to leave for a bag and you prayed about it in your heart of hearts. No. Did really God tell you to screw over your teammates? Did God tell you to screw over your school and the place you went to? Shut up about that. Oh my God. It's so overused and overplayed. You just stop. And Del McGee, you still need to be fired. That's the only okay? And just overhaul the team. Another day, hopefully they'll be better next year. Go Panthers. God bless the group of 5. God bless the group of 5 guys.
Appreciate you. Manuel, I'm pretty sure is his name.
Yeah, he's got a great point about that. I mean, Lane Kiffin was the one that he said, come on. I get it. I mean, you definitely pray about decisions like that, but what was the ultimate?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Del McGee, I don't think he's getting fired at this point.
No.
They'll be in the same. They'll be in the same boat as UAB if they were to make a move now.
Yeah, because it's like, who you gonna get?
Yeah, who are you gonna get? You're gonna be the fourth or fifth job, choice for the
Faulkner.
coaches.
Maybe.
I mean, he's right there. He wouldn't even have to move.
That's what I'm saying. So, all right, let's get to our last two.
Hey, Group of Five guys, Tom here from Charlotte. I was listening to your episode this morning. Great job again, as always. Thankful for you guys getting me through terrible Charlotte football and keeping my interest high. But I was thinking about, and I haven't heard this been discussed because maybe it's a little conspiracy theory, about these coaches leaving at inopportune times, right in the middle of the postseason. I'm not sure if this is something that, the top brands that kind of control control the whole of college football like. I think they really love the fact that, even when a team, through all the rules they've created, manages to come up, compete against the big boys, they're ready to go, and they just get gutted. Because who these coaching carousels don't really affect? It's the Georgias, it's the Alabamas, Texas, the Ohio States. They're sitting pretty while watching all the competitors who've maybe overachieved this year just get picked apart and taken apart like this. So I don't know if you guys have thought about that, but maybe this is something that won't get changed because the top schools like this. They like that their competition gets torn apart right before, when it matters, just so they can help further their agenda. Anyway, I've decided I really enjoyed James Madison fans coming to Charlotte a couple of years ago. I can't wait to come up to their place in a couple of years. And despite some of their Twitter fans being quite terrible, I did really enjoy their fans in person at Jerry Richardson a couple of years back. If JMU takes care of business Friday, I'm going to try and get a group of some Charlotte guys into the ACC championship, which is taking place at the Panthers Stadium, and root for the Duke Blue Devils to try and further the G5 agenda and get two G5 programs in there, because I think 11-1 JMU deserves a chance to show they can handle it, despite even their coach now is gone. So yeah, any streamer recommendations, any sort of recommendation from JMU fans how to get in some heads of Virginia players, let me know and we'll try and implement it. Appreciate you guys. God bless. Take care. Bye.
Love it,
Jeff.
Tom.
I think we need to get an alliance going with James Madison and the Charlotte, Tom, and we get Jimmy Touchstone.
No
we get
doubt.
the Normulence. I think you get the Normulence down there. And I think you have a rowdy G5 tailgate, Charlotte, James Madison fans, maybe some App State fans that are around Charlotte.
No
I know
question.
they don't want to cheer for James Madison, but this is for the collective good of the group of five and for the Sun Belt.
I agree. You don't even have to. You just wear your group of five merch. You don't even have to put on JMU purple or anything.
Well, and to his point, though, there's been some conspiracy talk because a lot of them got the same agent, and he's also the agent for a lot of these talking heads on the Worldwide Leader. The thing that's comical about it is, Ole Miss is dealing with it, and so it's like, again, like we've been trying to tell people for years now, is this Power 5, Power 4 business. It's really only a couple schools. And guess what, Ole Miss? You ain't in it.
You ain't in it.
You just saw it happen. I know Lane Kiffin's a, little slime ball to a degree, but he left a playoff SEC team for another SEC team. So LSU, maybe they're in the club. Maybe, but Ole Miss, you ain't in it.
Well, as Tom was talking and making that great point, you know what it reminds me of? It's a clear mirror, in my opinion, of what's happening to a lot of the companies in this country. Getting bought up by companies like BlackRock, these massive, massive corporations. And what they do is they completely strip the company of every profit dollar that possibly can have. And it's money driven. The companies are doing it. And all these smaller companies that end up building, they get bought out and they just get stripped down to the freaking studs, and then they file for bankruptcy. Meanwhile, you got little old Domenico's Italian Deli.
I was going to say,
out there,
Jeff,
out there competing every single day, trying to compete with the Jimmy John's and the
I was gonna
Subways
say,
and
you gonna get bought out by Schlotsky's?
hell no. This G5 blood runs
Yeah.
deep. The core values
No,
run deep, baby.
no, you know, you're right though. And then what happens is these small businesses or these group of five school, they have no choice because they got it. That's why a lot of times you hear, well, why aren't these commissioners and athletic directors stand up? It's because they got to get what little they can get. And if they raise, they might not get anything. So if you're like, I do with this, if you're a mom and pop little like, uh, you know, tire shop, your little mom and pop oil change shop. Well, guess what? Firestone and Valvoline are coming to town. So you got two choices: go out of business or sell to them. So what are you going to do? You just sell to them and ride off in the sunset, even if it means you had to give up your dream of what you thought you were going to have. So
gotta compete every day. Put on
all
your,
you can do.
lace
That's
up
all
your
you can do,
shoes,
Jay.
buckle your belt, and hit it.
You line up that Valvoline next to Joe's Tire across the street, and you let them freaking see who gives the better oil change
Ain't no
and the
doubt.
better deal.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yep.
All right, let's get to our last one.
What is up, group of five guys? It is your friendly JMU fan, Grant Horan here. Sorry for the double call this week, but had something else happen. Want to get your thoughts on it, and it is the paradox that is strength of schedule. And why am I bringing this up is because we've just seen that Alabama is postponing its game with USF next year up to 2032. And I know well and true that James Franklin is looking at his schedule for Virginia Tech next year and sees this powerhouse down the road that is JMU, who is set to come into Blacksburg. And he's thinking, this is kind of concerning because if I lose this game, not only will I have lost all faith from the Virginia Tech faithful, it'll have only come into like week 3 of my tenure here at Virginia Tech, right? But herein lies the problem with all of this is that everyone will sit there on the Twitterverse and the media and say, oh, see, strength of schedule doesn't matter. The committee doesn't care about strength of schedule. Yet I'm also being told that if Duke were to win the ACC championship game this weekend, right, that they should get into the college playoff versus Tulane or UNT and JMU because their strength of record is better, right? They'll sit there and say, oh, well, see, UNT and JMU is strength of schedule is like 116 and 118. We can't have two G5s. But Duke, the reason they're 8 and 5 is because they play all these hard teams. Look, their strength of schedule is better, yada, yada, yada. It's just ridiculous. So it's hilarious that they'll use this as a gatekeep for G5 schools to get into the playoffs, but they'll use it then as a way to up or, prop up these teams who have been nothing but average throughout a season. And the issue with all this is because then you'll see people say, oh, well, the group of 5, you play no one. It's because, you play in your conference. You don't really play anyone in your conference. Well, yeah, because when we try to schedule you, you kick the can down the line. You don't want to play us. Or you get too worried. It sucks. It's a lose-lose for you. It's a win for us. It's a win-win. If we lose, okay, we lost to a P4. And if you win, well, great, double up because it's a good P4 win, right? But the issue I have, and this is why we should only look at strength of record, is because it's what truly tells the story. And it's fair in doing that assessment. And what I mean by this is when you look at JMU, for example, who's 11-1, our strength of record is 22. Why is it not 5 or 6? Because we're 11-1, and the only 2 undefeated above us would be Indiana and Ohio State. Well, that's because they realize, you play Coastal Carolina. You're playing Georgia State. So, you're not going to have a top 10 strength of record going 11-1 with that schedule. But I think 22 is pretty fair. And same thing, that's why Miami, who's 10-2, can have a strength of record that's like 15 or 16, whatever it may be. Like, the fact that strength of schedule is even being floated out as an issue that the committee should look at or anyone should take into account is so silly because of how paradoxical it is in nature. So until we get this off of the committee's, things they can discuss to pick a team, we're just going to keep having this silly argument. So we'd love to hear your thoughts on, whether you think strength of schedule should matter, what you think we do to alleviate it. Again, I think we should just disregard it altogether, but appreciate
I tell you what, Grant's sharp.
Yeah. Well, the simple way is to get rid of a committee altogether and put in conference champions and get smaller conferences, and they all play each other, and there's a championship game, and the winner of it gets in. And then maybe you do give, maybe you make an at-large where it's like, okay, we'll concede that the SEC runner-up gets in, the Big Ten runner-up gets in. Maybe we concede that a model of 3 auto bids for SEC or whatever it might be. That way, there's no committee that can argue it. It's just, well, sorry, that's what happened. I mean, that's the rules. That's what happened. Like, again, like every other sport and league ever created. But, it was interesting because Alabama, the game it's South Florida is the one that's being moved, right? I mean, that's, well, so you get this argument on one hand of why would we play Ohio State? So then it's either one of two things. So either you are getting credit for playing games like that, even if you lose, or South Florida's a big time game. Because otherwise, why would you cancel that game or move that game? If Texas is saying, why should we play Ohio State anymore? We don't get credit for losing that game. Okay, maybe don't play them again. Well, now you're canceling group of 5 games. So is that a good game? That's the point, and I think that's the point Grant was trying to make, is they're more scared that they're going to lose that game. They're not trying to get a strength of schedule boost with that game. So who are they? So they schedule an FCS team instead. So it's like, don't tell me you're going to cancel all these games, these big time games against Ohio State, but then you cancel a group of 5 game and schedule an FCS. So to me, you're conceding that, yeah, I mean, we're worried about losing to that. Like, we're worried about losing that game, and it's no benefit to us because this dumbass committee is going to be like, well, I mean, they played a group of 5 team. So why play a group of 5 team that you could lose to when you could play an FCS team that, I mean, it would be highly unlikely to lose to. Dude, I mean, the solution is put in conference champs. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry as far as I'm concerned. And again, for the millionth time, it doesn't matter if the 5th place team in the SEC is better than the conference champion of whatever other conference it might be. They're not the best in their conference. So we've already seen them go through playing their conference and not be the best in it. So I don't need any more samples or information to tell you that team is not the best team in the country. So if I have a team like James Madison that goes 11-1, maybe they're not as good as 9-3 SEC team, but we don't know that for sure because they haven't played yet, or they haven't played anybody common. So, I mean, I don't know. I just hope to God, Tulane, North Texas, James Madison, whoever the hell gets in there, for the love of God, put your best damn foot forward and don't get, even though we'll get blowouts from teams that nobody's going to complain about. We'll get them.
We're held to a higher standard.
You absolutely are. And you'll get every talking head in the world, and then they'll change the rules and blah, 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 blah.
Just want one win. Give me one win.
Just give me a W. Yeah. That's it.
Take us home, Sprouse.
Yep. We got to get going, guys. Hey, if you like the show, make sure you hit follow on all the social platforms at Group of 5 Guys. Go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your best podcasts, the Believe Network. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a 5-star rating and a review. Put your notifications on for when our show drops on Friday morning live from Ullman Stadium at the American Championship game. Have a great rest of the week. We're out of here.